guys, welcome to the YAL Academy. My name is Ashmeet Kaur and today I'll be telling you the summary and plot of the famous novel Things Fall Apart. We will also discuss critical analysis of this novel and a few important questions which will help you prepare for your exams. I will be speaking very slowly so that all of you can understand it easily. However, if you want us to make this video in Hindi, please let us know by writing in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed to our channel already, I assure you that you won't regret doing it, as we keep uploading videos to help you understand stories, novels, novellas in the English subjects of various undergraduate courses. Things Fall Apart is a novel written by a Nigerian author, Chinua Achebe. It depicts pre-colonial life in the southeastern part of Nigeria and the invasion by Europeans during the late 19th century. Born on 16th November 1930, the author, Chinua Achebe, was a Nigerian novelist, poet, and critic who is regarded as the dominant figure of modern African literature. His first novel and magnum opus, Things Fall Apart, 1958, occupies a pivotal place in African literature and remains the most widely studied, translated, and read African novel. He is often referred to as father of African literature, although he vigorously rejected the characterization. Before we start with the summary of the novel, I would like to tell you something about the post-colonial literature in the context of this novel. Many countries in the world were colonized by the British powers. One of these countries to be colonized was Africa, because of which Africa went through a period of crisis. Before the coming of the colonizers, the Africans were embedded in their own culture and traditions, but with the advent of the colonizers on African soil, things began to change rapidly. Many writers in Africa wrote about their native culture, and in the 1950s, there was a powerful movement called Negritude, during which the black writers began to understand the value and power of their own native ethos, a set of ideas and attitudes associated with a particular group or society. Chinua Achebe hailed from a small place in East Nigeria. In this novel, he records the changes that take place in the Igbo community. The Igbo people are an ethnic group in Nigeria. Igbo is not just a community, but it also represented Achebe's language as he spoke in the Igbo dialect. Let us now discuss the main characters in this novel. OKONKWO. OKONKWO is one of the leaders of a clan that lives in an Igbo settlement named UMUOFIA. UMUOFIA is a very powerful clan, as in this clan there are many leaders with titles. Surrounding the clan of UMUOFIA, there are many other clans, but in this novel, Achebe highlights activities of two major clans, UMUOFIA and MBANTA. Clan means a group of families or a large group of people who are related to each other. So, UMUOFIA and MBANTA are two Igbo clans or settlements. Unoka is Okonkwo's father. Nyowe is Okonkwo's eldest son. Ikmefuna is Okonkwo's 14-year-old adopted boy. Obirika is Okonkwo's close friend. Uchendu is Okonkwo's maternal uncle. CHIELO is the priestess of the caves and the hills shrine. ENOCH is the son of the snake priest of UMUOFIA. Ekwefi is one of Okonkwo's wives. EZINMA is the daughter of OKONKWO and Ekwefi. Apart from these, there are two more characters, Mr. Brown, the white missionary, and his successor, Reverend James Smith. Guys, let us begin with the novel now. OKONKWO is an undisputed leader of the clan of UMUOFIA. OKONKWO had defeated a great wrestler in UMUOFIA, Amalance the cat, 20 years ago, who had held the title of the strongest wrestler in UMUOFIA for a period of 7 years but was eventually defeated by OKONKWO. OKONKWO becomes a rich and prosperous man, has many wives as the practice of polygamy was common, and he has many children. Once a woman from UMUOFIA clan is killed by someone from a neighboring clan. As a result, it is decided that the neighboring clan has to surrender a boy to the clan of UMUOFIA. It is a 14-year-old boy, Ikmefuna, who is brought into the village of UMUOFIA. The people in all the neighboring Igbo communities fear OKONKWO as he is a strong and powerful man, and thus conclude that it is better to hand over the boy Ikmefuna to UMUOFIA, and OKONKWO is entrusted with the responsibility of taking care of him. Unoka, OKONKWO's father, was a failure in his life, as in OKONKWO's view, his father was lazy and did not take up the responsibility of taking care of his family, and instead he would borrow money from people and wasn't able to repay the debts before he died. He thus left a burden of huge debts on his family after his death. If a man in the African community was not strong or successful and didn't take care of his family, they called him AGBALA, which in the African dialect means weak, like a woman. So OKONKWO's father was called AGBALA. OKONKWO didn't want to be like his father. In fact, he had very early decided in his life that he would not be like his father, and instead he wanted to be strong, brave, and prosperous. In OKONKWO's house, his wives and children are terrified of him as they don't know when he would unleash his temper. The coming of Ikmefuna into the house of OKONKWO is a very important development in the plot. Another important development is the week of peace observed by the African communities. It was decided by the elders of the community that everybody at the level of the family and community would observe peace for at least 1 week. Unfortunately, OKONKWO is not able to keep up the peace of week. He is a man known for his aggression, and during the 7 days period of peace, he beats his youngest wife. She had gone to her neighbor's house to do her plates and took a lot of time doing that. When OKONKWO returns to his house, he is enraged to find that the lunch is not cooked and thus beats her severely. OKONKWO is consequently punished as he violates the week of peace. It can be concluded that OKONKWO has a fiery temper and that he is driven by the notion of success. He is always thinking that he should not be like his father, as he was considered weak, and instead should be brave, strong, and be able to control his clan. Another important incident in part 1 of the novel is the celebration of the festival of the new yam, which was celebrated with great gusto in the household of OKONKWO and also in the community. Yam is called ratalu in Hindi. It is a potato-like root from a tropical climbing plant that can be eaten. Ikmefuna has been residing in OKONKWO's house for 3 years by now, when one evening the priestess, CHIELO, announces that she wants Ikmefuna to be sacrificed and emphasizes that she wants OKONKWO to kill him with his own hands. That evening, Azudu, the oldest man of the clan, visits OKONKWO. He warns OKONKWO and tells him that since the boy, Ikmefuna, calls him father, he should not spill innocent blood. However, OKONKWO doesn't want to be considered weak by the people of his clan and decides to go ahead and keep the word of the priestess and sacrifice Ikmefuna. The next morning, he tells Ikmefuna that he is going to take him back to his house. Ikmefuna has started loving OKONKWO's family as his own and more importantly feels that Nyowe is his own brother as they have developed a very close bond between them. In fact, OKONKWO finds Ikmefuna to be much stronger and more efficient than his own son, Nyowe. Nyowe is more inclined to listen to stories from his mother and aunts while Ikmefuna accompanies OKONKWO to the fields and learns the importance of wrestling matches. Ikmefuna bids the family goodbye and as he leaves the house in the company of OKONKWO, he notices that there are two other men following them. He leaves the house, they pass through the forest, and suddenly he realizes that that is not the way to his house. When he turns behind, the two men following him take out a machete and slit his throat from one side. He is shocked and wonders why the two men want to kill him. He turns to the other side and runs towards OKONKWO and pleads him to save him. OKONKWO, instead of saving him, takes out his machete and slits his throat and Ikmefuna dies. When OKONKWO goes back to his house, Nyowe realizes that his father has killed his friend, Ikmefuna. The strain in this relationship between OKONKWO and his son Nyowe begins as Nyowe holds his father responsible for the murder of Ikmefuna, who was like a brother to him. OKONKWO feels very upset about his own actions and doesn't eat or sleep for 2 days, but eventually reminds himself that he has to be strong and powerful in the eyes of his family and community. Izudu, the oldest man in the village, passes away and OKONKWO attends his funeral. Many bullet shots are fired there as this is a part of African tradition and there is a lot of smoke in the air. Suddenly, a bullet is fired accidentally from OKONKWO's gun and hits Izudu's 16-year-old boy who dies. OKONKWO realizes the seriousness of his actions and knows the consequences. He leaves the place quietly and rushes back to his house and tells his wives and children that they would have to leave the village and that if they didn't, they would have to face severe consequences. He, along with his family, leaves UMUOFIA and goes to MBANTA, a neighboring village where his maternal uncle, Achindu, lives. The angry villagers burn down his house, fields, and animals. The African people give a lot of importance to their customs and traditions and feel that if they don't do this, it would be a great crime against their god and social customs. This was part 1 of the novel Things Fall Apart. Guys, I hope you understood it. Please feel free to watch it again if needed as we will be discussing part 2 of the novel in the next video. Please like the video and share it with your friends and we would love to see your comments. Thank you for watching.